Alright, on today's episode, we've got some more bread for you. I know that I just put out another bread video, kind of a sweet bread, but I've been, experimenting with different things. So you have banana bread, you have carrot cake, this is orange bread cake. For yeast prep, it's just like the other recipe. You're gonna want 1 very warm cup of water, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and of course 1 yeast packet. And you're gonna wanna let this sit about 5 minutes. Dry ingredients, again, same as last time. You can use cheap flour all the way up through the good bread flour. I'm kind of just gonna go with the bread flour again on this one. And that's gonna be 2 1/4 to 2 1/2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, add in a little pinch, dash or 2 of cinnamon. And then here's where it kind of varies a little bit. You're gonna go up to possibly even a 1/4 cup of sugar. Now that's gonna be up for your personal preference. I don't know what you're on a diet or whatever, then don't do it. Go ahead and add your prepared yeast. It should be nice and foamed up. And this is where the orange comes in. You want to cut it in half. And I like to kind of stab it with a knife to help break it apart when you're squeezing it. You want to go ahead and squeeze that entire half orange in there. Now, you don't have to have a cheese grater, but you can use that serrated edge of a knife, and you want to basically lightly scrape some orange zest off of that orange. Now, as you can see, it leaves those little marks. It's basically just the same as a cheese grater. Use what you got. I try not to put too much in it because it really is way too strong if you do a little bit more than that. Dough forming, well, first off, you want to preheat your oven to 450, and yes, you can use a toaster oven. And this is pretty straightforward. You're just going to mix it up with a spatula, and after that, it's going to kind of look like oatmeal or drywall plaster. Let's not get into that. All right, let it sit for about 30 to 45 minutes and it'll rise up. Next up, you're going to want to go ahead and flour your hands and pour a little extra flour in there. And basically what you're doing here is you're trying not to deflate the balloon, if we want to call it that. You want to be able to pick this up. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to stuff flour underneath so it doesn't stick to my hands and just become an absolute mess. And it actually helps it form too. All right, let's get this out into a tray. Nice. Okay. So that's looking pretty good right there. Now baking is, I'm going to reuse some old footage from another bread video that I did because it's basically the same. You want to bake it for 20 minutes, rotate, bake it for another 20. Then you're going to want to rotate again, bake it for another 10. Now here's the thing, you may or may not need 5 more. Look at this, this is the actual orange loaf. Now I actually wish I had done 5 less. And you'll see why in a minute, but it's still turned out great. Look at that. Look at, okay, so if you bake it for less, it'll be more moist. If you bake it more, obviously it'll dry out more. But that is actually still looking really, really good. And oh yeah, you want to go ahead and put that butter on there. You know what? This definitely needs a taste test, doesn't it? Okay, that's pretty good right there. All right, who we kidding? I'm gonna keep eating it. Enjoy the recipe.